Is it difficult as dad, but also as the, if you like, the sort of leader of the band? How does that work? Are you tougher on them, or do you let them off a little bit?
I'm useless. I'm totally useless. The good thing is that they are all really good pros. They really are. They really they take everything very seriously. They care about what they do, and they want to do it well. So you don't have to sort of turn around and say, you haven't learnt that, you haven't done that. Well, they're more likely to turn around to me and say, you haven't learnt my piece right. That kind of thing.
Right, so they're a bit tough on you then?
Oh, they'll have a go at me. But I mean, I've got 6 kids, and they all play. They all do different things. The 3 that are missing are missing for a reason. Is my son Oscar, he's a good player. He's a good guitar player. He lives in Chile, and I said not keen on covering the fare back from Chile. I've got a son who lives in Switzerland, does a lot of electronic music. He's going to be there actually. He's coming over, and I've got a daughter in America, but she's just about to have my 8th grandchild, so she can't make it over. Actually, to have the 4 of us on stage, 3, that won't happen again either, because the boys in particular are so busy. They just work all the time. So in all, it's going to be a really unique little period of time. Immense amount of rehearsals before we even get down there, and there'll be an immense amount of eyes down, look in, especially with the band and the orchestral stuff. But again, the band's been with me for years and years and years. I know that when they arrive, they'll really have learned everything that they want to learn, and they'll be adding an awful lot to it as well. So, and we love playing with orchestras, so you don't actually get the opportunity that often. So, and the Centaur's such a nice place.
It's the eye lines are something special about the visibility aspect for the audience.
It's really good at the Centaur. I mean, because it really was designed with wherever you sit, you can see, and you can hear, and you can't say that about too many places these days. So it's the first time I've played there, so I'm really looking forward to it.
And for anybody who can't get to the shows,
tough.
DVDs, albums around the projects. What's coming up on that score?
It's possible that we may record the Centaur. We looked at filming it. It's just too complicated. When you've got orchestras and choirs and bands and heaven knows what else, the crew have got enough problems as it is to try and look at that. We're still looking at the possibility of recording it, but it means bringing in a couple of trucks and heaven knows what else. And the crew are concerned about the time, the amount of time they've got to set everything up as it is. I would love to film Blackfriars. I think Blackfriars as a film works better than, ironically, filming the Centaur. I think the Centaur would work well audio-wise because it's very much the music. The uniqueness of Blackfriars, I think, would be well worth filming because, as I say, with the kids sort of demanding that they're allowed to say whatever they like about their dad. In fact, I know of at least 4 people, 2 have come from Brazil and 2 from California, who've come specifically to hear what the kids have to say. They couldn't actually care about what I actually play. So that I would like to film, and we're still working on the possibilities of that.
And studio albums, anything current, anything coming up that that people can look out for?
Yeah, there's a few things that are interesting coming up. We are next year doing a massive tour of the new Journey to the Centre of the Earth, which is a mixture of is an extended version of Journey to the Centre of the Earth with a huge Roger Dean stage. I think we're at the Albert Hall on the 28th of April, and it travels all over Europe and then all around the world. That's one of the reasons why there's no other shows and things this year right up till then, because that's going to take all of our time rehearsing and putting it together. It's a mammoth production that we're doing. So the album, which we recorded last year, a studio version in Abbey Road of Journey, the extended version. That I would imagine will come out probably around about September, maybe August, to tie in with when the tour actually starts. But that's the reason why this year, has the big cut-off after Gloucester, because there's just so much work involved with that. And in between that, I'm still having great fun doing Watchdog, sort of having a rant every week about whatever it is they give me to rant about. In fact, it's really quite good, because you get people come up to you and say, "Oh, you smile," rather than rant all the time. So that's really good. So I enjoy all of that.
Because I think perhaps, Rick, you've had a long and amazingly successful career as a musician.
You mean I'm old?
Well, I wouldn't say that, Rick.
You did earlier.
Older than some people, but younger than others. But for people who are perhaps a little younger than you and myself, they may know you more as a TV presenter than for your music.
It is interesting that you get a lot of. I'm doing the Edinburgh Festival this year, which is like half stand-up and half music at the Assembly Rooms, and I've never done the Edinburgh Festival before. It's one of those things you want to tick off, and it's in the same place, 12 shows, 12 days at the Assembly Rooms, but I was really because of the whole comedy setup, which I suppose started was a mixture of live at Jongleurs, which I did for 8 years on ITV, and then I suppose a lot of the anecdotes and stuff I do in the one-man shows, and. It's quite interesting. I do a lot of corporate and after dinner stuff, which is great fun to do. But the interesting thing is, it's all because it shows the power of TV, because it's all because of Countdown, and never mind the Buzzcocks. I got news for you. All the programmes and Watchdog. They say, "Oh, you coming on to?" I say, "Oh, do you want to play the piano?" "Oh, if you want to." It really is interesting. There's two.
Do you find that your enthusiasm, perhaps for music, would wax and wane, and the presenting and books and things like that takes over? Or
no, I mean, I'm
first and foremost, are you a musician or
I'm whatever
TV?
I'm doing on the day. If I'm in the middle of writing another grumpy book or whatever, that's what I'm doing for the day, and that's what I thoroughly enjoy. If it's music, that's what I thoroughly enjoy. If I'm doing a corporate event, I'll thoroughly enjoy it. If I'm doing a TV or Watchdog filming, then it's great. I love the diversity of everything. It comes sometimes a bit strange when you suddenly realise that to some people you're not a musician anymore. That is a bit weird, or right. And then there's two examples I can give of that. One is Tim Rice, my dear friend Sir Tim Rice. We had dinner a few years ago. Well, it was lunch actually in London, and he's the most mild-mannered. I mean, and when you consider the billions of sales that he's had with the music things around the world, and we were rather this little Italian restaurant to it, and he said. I said, "How are you?" He said, "I've just had the most bizarre experience." He said, I actually spoke back to an elderly lady, which I've never done before. He said, I just always smiled. And he said, "Well, I had a bit of a morning." He said, I was walking along. He said, and I had this couple say to me, "Saw you on Countdown. Very good, lovely on Countdown." And he went, "Yes, good." It always happens if you're on Countdown the week before, you have a whole week of everybody talking to you about Countdown. And then he said, I went into a shop and the woman goes, "Oh, saw you on Countdown." And right, and he said, "No, I have a third one. Oh, saw you Countdown all last week. That was really..." He said, and this lovely elderly lady came out. She said, "Oh," she said, "now I saw you on Countdown. Now, can I ask you a question?" He said, "What?" She said, "Now, I want to ask you about Richard Whiteley and Carol and their friendly relationship." And Tim said, "I couldn't..." I said, "Excuse me." He said, "Did you know I wrote Vita, Jesus Christ Superstar, Chess?" And she went, "Yes." Now, do Carol and Richard, do their families, do they meet together? And he said, I suddenly sat there and stood there and thought, I'm going to be on my gravestone famous for being on Countdown. And it is, and we laughed and we talked about the power of television. It is so powerful. But you know, it's not. I love doing TV. Absolutely enjoy it immensely. In the same way, I enjoy immensely walking on stage and playing. I class myself as incredibly fortunate that almost every day when I wake up, it's different. It's going to be a different day, and I like that.
Do you feel, or how would it sit if perhaps somebody was to suggest that you'd fallen into that category of a national treasure?
I think there's a few people who like to bury me. There's a few worrying expressions actually. National treasure. What was the other one? Legend. I had one guy. It was really funny. He was in an interview, and he said, "I'm here with it." I said, "No, not legend." He said, "No, not." He was in South America, Argentina. He said, "No, you are a legend." I said, "No, I'm not a legend." He said, "Please let me explain." He said, "When you are young and you are starting and you are playing, and we notice you are Rick." He said, "Then when you get much older, you are Rick Wakeman." He said, "Then when you get in your 50s, you are Mr. Wakeman." He said, "And then when you get your age, you're legend."